You remember Code Interpreter from ChatGPT? It's that incredible feature that allows you to upload files to ChatGPT and interact with them in natural language. So for example, you can upload PDFs and have ChatGPT summarize it for you. You can upload images and convert them into GIFs. You can upload data and run visualizations or analyze that data. It's pretty incredible. But now, what if you could do all of that locally on your own computer? A new project called Open Interpreter makes that possible. Open Interpreter runs locally on your computer. It supports both ChatGPT and Code Llama, and it doesn't have any of the limitations that Code Interpreter does. So first I'm going to show you how to install it, then I'm going to show you how to use it. Let's go. So this is the GitHub page for Open Interpreter. It is at the top of the trending repositories on GitHub right now, and for good reason. It is really incredible. So here it says, Open Interpreter lets LLMs run code, Python, JavaScript, Shell, and more locally. You can chat with Open Interpreter through a ChatGPT-like interface in your terminal by running Interpreter after installing. So you can create and edit photos, videos, PDFs, etc., control a Chrome browser to perform research, plot, clean, and analyze large data sets. And one thing it doesn't mention here is you can actually have it run scripts that change things on your computer. So you can say, change my computer to dark mode, or change it to light mode, or tell me how many files I have on my computer. The possibilities are really endless. So let me show you how to install it now. I'm using a PC, but I ran through this on a Mac and it works just as well. And thank you so much to this video sponsor, CapCut Online. With CapCut Online Video Editor, it is super simple to create YouTube videos just like this one. I've used other video editors, but when it comes to simplicity and just getting the job done well, CapCut Online tends to be the best. And they made things even easier with their Magic Tools suite of features, which is AI-powered functionality that you can use to create incredible videos without needing to be a professional video editor. One of the coolest features from Magic Tools is a feature called Script to Video, which allows you to just give it a prompt and it'll create a script for you. One of the most overwhelming parts of creating video for me is staring at that blank page. But with Script to Video, you just input a few ideas and then CapCut will actually generate you that full script as a first draft. And of course, you can edit it and make it better and make it more akin to your own tone. And from that script, if you want to take it a step further, you can actually convert the script directly into a video. And that video will be copyright compliant and ready to export. And then you can use the CapCut editor and edit the video to your needs. So thank you again to CapCut Online Video Editor. With all of the AI tools that they provide, it truly is the easiest way to create professional looking videos for YouTube, for TikTok, or really any platform. Now back to the video. So the first thing you're going to do is open up your terminal with Anaconda already installed. We're going to be using Conda today to isolate the environment. Now, if you don't already have Anaconda installed, go ahead and install it. It's super easy. Now, one thing to note, and I generally always recommend using Conda to isolate your environment, but in this case, if you want to be able to run Interpreter from any console, then you wouldn't want to use Conda. And since I'm using Conda every time I want to run Interpreter, I have to activate that Conda environment. So let's go ahead and do that now. Conda create -n OI for Open Interpreter, Python equals 3.11.4. And yes, I do want to install the packages. Next, we're going to grab this command right here to activate the environment. So I'm going to highlight it, copy it, and paste it in. Conda activate OI. And there we go. We have the Conda environment activated. Next, and this really couldn't be easier. This is one of the easiest installations that I've come across. All you do is pip install open-interpreter, hit enter, and there, it's done. You now have Interpreter ready to go. So first I'm going to show you how to use it with GPT-4, and that's the default, but it does support Code Llama. Now, admittedly, I haven't gotten the Code Llama version to work, but I know it's available, and I know they're trying to make it a lot easier for people to run it on various machines. There's a bunch of different issues discussing it on their GitHub repo, so check it out. I hope you can get it installed. I'll still show you how to install it, but I haven't been able to do it myself. But for now, let's just type Interpreter, and that's it. Welcome to Open Interpreter. The first thing it's going to ask you for is an OpenAI API key. So if you don't already have an OpenAI account, go ahead and sign up, grab an API key, come back here and paste it in. All right, there is my API key. And of course, I'm going to revoke this API key before publishing this video. Don't worry. Hit enter. And if we don't want to have to enter our API key every time we run Interpreter, we would do either on a Mac, we want to export it, or we want to set X right here. And it gives you both of those commands right when you're launching. And that's it. Now we're in there. So let's test it out now. I'm going to say, what files do I have on my desktop? You hit enter, and just like Code Interpreter, it's going to tell you what it's going to do. Then it's actually going to write the code for that. So here it is. To find out what files are on your desktop, we will use the shell command dir to list all the files in the desktop directory. Now, when I ran this on the Mac, it knew I was on a Mac. And now that I'm running it on Windows, it knows I'm on Windows. It's very impressive. So there we go. Would you like to run this code? Now, every time it outputs code, it asks for your approval. And you can skip that step. You can actually have it run the code automatically by typing interpreter space -y to launch Open Interpreter rather than just Interpreter. So we're going to say yes, run the code, and it actually ran into an issue. And just like Code Interpreter, it's going to try to figure out what the issue is and rewrite its code. So there it did that. Let's try it again. And that time it worked. I have a PDF. I have the cursor program. I have a Microsoft Excel file. I have Dropbox. I have Factorio, one of the best games ever made, OBS, YouTube folder, and so on. So it told me everything on the desktop. Really impressive. Now let's interact with the Excel file I have. What is the Excel file on the desktop about? Again, I'm not giving it much to run on, but it's going to figure out what I mean by that and run the command. So to understand what the Excel file is about, we need to open it and read its contents. So it's going to install some libraries, then it's going to actually run the code, open it up, figure it out. So there it's installing the libraries right from the window. They've been successfully installed. Now it's writing the code to open up the file and see what it's about. Okay, so it got another issue. It figured out what the issue is, and now it's going to rewrite the code. And there we go. There's the Excel file. And so the file is about, and it's actually giving me an example, and it contains data about various fashion brands. Here are the first few rows. And that's exactly right. So now let's actually run some queries on it. Which company in that data set has the highest growth rate last year? So there it's going to sort the data, and then it's going to grab the one that's at top. And there we go. Nike. That's perfect. That's exactly right. But now let's take it a step further. I actually want to see a graph of the growth rate of all the companies. Create a graph of the growth rate of all of those companies. And it says that it's going to use matplotlib to do so. First, it has to install. Great. And again, you can skip all the approvals simply by typing -y when launching Interpreter. And there it is. Absolutely incredible. There's the growth rate of the top 10 companies. And all I had to do is describe what I want, and it created this graph. Super cool. Next, I don't like the name of that file. I'm going to rename it to something much simpler. Rename that Excel file to brand data. So it ran into an issue, so it's trying something different, just like Code Interpreter would. Let's try that. And there we go. It worked. Perfect. And let's verify. Yep, right there. branddata.xlsx. Perfect. Now, I have a PDF on my desktop, and I'm going to ask it to summarize that PDF. Summarize the first page of the PDF on my desktop. Okay, so it ran into an issue. Try it again. Yep, there it goes. And again, it is self-correcting code, which is so cool. Okay, the packages have been installed. Now it's actually writing the code to extract the text from that file. Okay, it's having trouble again. There was an issue opening the PDF. Let's try again. Now it says PDF file reader is deprecated, which I found on my Mac as well. Now let's try something different. And there we go. It worked. Now we're going to summarize using the gensim package. So let's install it. Okay, so it ran into another issue. Let's try it again. And it's having an issue with gensim. And this isn't a problem with Open Interpreter. This is a problem with Python and gensim. So we're going to try a different way. Same thing. Now it's saying let's use the BERT-based model. And I'm going to say no, let's use the sumY package. Okay, so it got it installed. Now let's use sumY. Or is it pronounced summy? I'm not sure. There, it wrote some code. Let's do it. And it has an issue. And it says the NLTK data needs to be downloaded. So let's download it. Downloaded it, unzipped it. Great, successful. Now let's try it again. And here's the summary. It worked. Perfect. So it talks about the attribution. Of course, it's only the first page of the attention is all you need document. And I tried it on my Mac. Now, the authors of Open Interpreter are well aware of this. They're working on it. And I can't wait until Code Interpreter is available so that this is truly fully open source, completely local. Now, if you did want to run it with CodeLlama, here's how you would do it. And I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to show you where I get stuck. So first you type interpreter and then -- local. And the first thing you're met with is asking what parameter count model you want to download. So we're going to download the smallest one because I know it's not going to work. So let's save some time. Then I'm going to ask for the lowest size. And then it's asking if I want to use a GPU, which I do because I have one on this computer. So the CodeLlama interface is not found. Let's install it. And this is where I always get stuck. Failed to install CodeLlama. We have likely not built the proper CodeLlama support in your system. And they even say here, running large language models locally is difficult. And if you have any insight, hop in their Discord and help them out. So that's it. I can't wait for this to have Code Llama, but in the meantime, this is absolutely incredible. This is a fully open source version of Code Interpreter that you can run on your machine. And I want to know what you do with it. Tell me the use cases you think of in the comments below. And if you want me to create another video going over all the use cases that you all mentioned, let me know in the comments. I'll do it. If you liked this video, please consider giving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.